Seahawks defending their home field in a crazy shootout overtime 38-37 win. What a game this turned out to be. We got a lot to talk about because I watched every snap of this game yesterday, and boy, was it incredible. So to start off, we'll definitely be getting into that two-pointer, Eric. Don't you worry. Let's start off with first things first. Kenneth Walker starts this game off. Bang! Do hip break, group break spots count as entries? Yes, they do, Hockey Collector. Yes, they do today and today only. Starting off with Kenneth Walker. Man just breaks a run in the first quarter. But there are 2 Hit Parade basketball jerseys attached to it, so it is Hit Parade technically. Kenneth Walker absolutely breaks open a run was it a catch? No, it was that touchdown. First one was a run, I believe. It was that run play to the right side. Let me double check on that, I guess, to see. Oh my gosh, you're right. It was the long catch. Yes. He has that 46 long catch. You're right. He had the multiple touchdowns in this game. 46-yarder long catch to start it off. Mind you, it was after a couple bad plays. It was after a quick 3-and-out, basically, for the Rams. And then bang, of course, it's never easy. It's never a Kenneth Walker touchdown in the red zone. They gave that ball right to Zach Charbonnet, right up the middle for that 4-yard touchdown to start the game. So I know our fantasy managers are like, get Kenneth Walker the ball after that big-time play. Now, I will say the Rams came back. In that second quarter, Puka had, in my opinion, one of the best catches I've seen all season. It was a 4th and 5. Not only was the defender offside, so the play wouldn't have mattered either way, but Stafford threw the ball to the outside, to the inside. When Puka was on the outside, there was an arm, the defender's arm, straight through the middle. Yes, sir, Hockey Collector, I do have you with an entry. Congratulations, you have an entry towards the mini helmet that we're doing today. But Puka makes this incredible catch right through Witherspoon's arm to get the first down, and that's when I was like, man, today's going to be a Puka day. The Rams end up scoring a touchdown right before the half ends. I believe that was the Blake Corum touchdown. Right before the half ended, gave the ball back to the Seahawks. The Seahawks have an incredible couple play drive with less than 2 minutes on the clock to get all the way down the field. It looks like the Seahawks are going to score going into half. Cooper Kupp catches this great post route over the middle and boom, gets leveled by the helmet when the ball was in his left hand. Ball pops out. Rams recover the ball. Looks like the Rams have all the momentum going into the second half of this game. Was very impressive. That was the end of half, the fumble from Cooper Kupp. End of half. Right out to start the second half. That's what I'm remembering right now. It starts off slow. They give the ball to Charbonnet up the middle. My roommate's looking at me like, why are they still giving the ball to Charbonnet up the middle? It hasn't been working all day. They then do a nice little 7-yard pass. They get they do their QB sneak. They come right out. They give the ball to Kenneth Walker, and he breaks a 55-yarder down the right sideline on this Rams defense. No better way for this Seahawks offense to come right out the gate. In that second half, they needed that after the fumble. That was a huge momentum swing, in my opinion. Huge play by Kenneth Walker there, breaking up that 55-yard touchdown up the right sideline. That was followed up, by the way, with a nice long drive by the Rams and a field goal. And then the turnover started. Sam Darnold threw his first interception of the game. It looked rough. I can't lie. Watching it live, it was a bad throw. Exactly, Eric. Horrible throw. It was a bad throw. It looked rough. It was one of those Darnold in the first game. They played the Rams the first time. He did throw 4 interceptions. It was one of those things where you question Darnold like, yo, we gotta keep these turnovers down. We just fumbled on a scoring possession to end the first half. We score to start the third, and bang, immediately after, another interception. The Rams come out and right immediately capitalized from that interception. Interception leads right to a touchdown. That was the Blake Corum touchdown right there to go 23-14. I was expecting the Seahawks to come right back out and play pretty well. Right after that, they came out with a nice A.J. Barner 10-yard pass. I was like, oh, they're going to get into nice rhythm. Nope. They have a couple penalties, absolutely ruin the drive, and they have to punt it back to the Rams. The Rams then go on to have a nice long drive, a nice, 5-minute drive here that ends up in a 1-yard touchdown to Puka Nacua. Man, that felt like I was watching Devontae Adams all over again. I can't lie. I felt like I was watching Devontae Adams out there in the red zone with that.
We're up 30-14.
30-14, yes, going into the fourth quarter. And then right as that happens, boom, Darnold throws another pick. They go up 30-14, Darnold throws another pick. And you're sitting here thinking, yo, this game's over. Honestly, it looks like this game was almost over. All the Rams had to do was completely run down the clock. But no, they immediately punt the ball back to Seattle. Seattle runs a little end-around play. First and foremost, by the way, the punt return. The punt return by Rashid Shaheed. Touchdown. Bang. I mean, that's why you trade for a guy like Rashid Shaheed. That was a huge momentum swing in this one. Matthew Stafford misses Puka on his own 15, punts it down to Rashid Shaheed, who takes it 58 yards to the house, and they ran a great two-point play conversion to Cooper Kupp. I thought that play was beautiful. Got Kupp the easiest 2 points he's ever gotten. Seattle's defense needed to make a statement afterwards, and they did. Immediately came out and forced them to punt again in a quick 3-and-out for the Rams, which led to the huge Rashid Shaheed end-around flip pass that went 31 yards up the right sideline, and immediately Sam Darnold comes back out. A.J. Barner, by the way, ran a beautiful. Sam Darnold's rolling out left. A.J. Barner looks like he's going to follow him left, puts his foot in the dirt, cuts it back right when no one was on that right side of the... Sam Darnold throws up a prayer. A.J. Barner has to jump up. It looked like it was almost this close to being incomplete, but touchdown A.J. Barner. Now the biggest play of the game came right after that A.J. Barner touchdown, where they decided to do a screen pass on the left side to Zach Charbonnet for the 2-point conversion. Now, mind you, I'm sitting here watching this. Charbonnet moves out to the side, and my roommate's like, do not give it to Sharp. You could just tell this play was not going to work. He throws it to Sharp. It hits off the Rams' helmet, falls into the end zone. People think the play is dead. So Charbonnet casually walks up to the ball, picks it up in the end zone. Well, after 17 minutes of review, what felt like, at least when you're watching this game, they ruled it a backwards pass, which means the ball was technically live. And by Charbonnet clear ruling, picking up the ball in the end zone, meant that the 2-point conversion was successful.
Did you think it was a backwards pass?
I did think it was a backwards pass. Even actually, funny enough, watching the play happen, I thought it was a backwards pass right when it happened. And then when they showed the replay, it was so close. I
couldn't make up my mind because I watched it a few times on the train. I couldn't tell. I'm like, how the hell do you... I feel like you needed almost like an overhead camera.
You need that overhead to see if it moves this. I will say from the angle of Darnold throwing the ball, it looks like he releases it not in a straight line. I thought you could advance fumble. He didn't, Eric. The ball landed in the end zone, which is the craziest part.
Yeah, because it's behind.
You just have to pick up the ball. Once you pick up the ball, the play is done technically with that stuff. He technically didn't advance it. Well, the problem was it was not fumbled. It was hit off the helmet of the defensive player. So technically, the spot of the ball has to be where it lands, and that is the progress spot.
That's a weird.
That's
weird.
Goes to Zach Charbonnet in the end zone. I agree that was a crazy play overall, but they did rule that a successful 2-point conversion, which was huge for Seattle to tie the game up 30-30.
So what if the Rams picked it up there, right? So was there a whistle blown?
There was not a whistle blown until Charbonnet picked it up.
So if Rams picked it up and then hauled ass for 100 yards, would they have...
I do not think that would have been...
Yeah, right?
I do not think that would have been counted. I think it would have just been a touchback, quote-unquote play. Yeah. But it's incredible. Incredible play. I cannot believe Kubiak, by the way, called that screen pass in the first place to do that, and then to have the luck of it going backwards because of kind of where Charbonnet lined up. If Sam Darnold's arm had about 2 more inches of length in throwing the ball, it may have not been considered a backwards pass, but because of that, it counts. And now I will say, right back off of that, the punt by the Rams. You think that the Seahawks are going to take the lead with 1:28? Nope, they have a terrible 3-play drive. Terrible 3-play drive, Seattle, with the game on the line. They punt it right back. I mean, there was like 10 seconds off the clock, it felt like, between Rams getting the ball, Seahawks getting the ball, and giving it back to the Rams in clutch time. And then with a minute 12 seconds left on the clock. He misses the field goal. The Rams kicker, who hasn't missed all season long, Mr. Mevis or whatever his name is. I gotta say, the announcers were ripping on him. They were calling him an offensive lineman lookalike just because he's a little bit bigger for a kicker. I thought it was hysterical. Misses his first field goal of the year, 48 yards, and it was this close, guys, this close to going in. It was incredible stuff. I cannot believe he missed that field goal, though, because even the snap, the hold was perfect. It looked like it was going through the middle, but it kept just drifting a little more right than you would have liked, and bang, it turns out to be a missed field goal to the right. Yes, because there was a field goal play earlier in this game that yes, there was a penalty on it, and it led to the drive continuing. That is true. Back-to-back plays ended in a punt for the Seahawks. This game goes into overtime after Seattle doesn't do anything with the ball with 42 seconds and no timeouts. I do want to say an observation that I don't know how many teams are going to talk about this or care about this. When JSN went up to do the overtime, he was the captain for the overtime coin flip and whatever. It was tails, Seattle gets the call. The way JSN just said out loud, we are deferring, we do not want the ball. It just felt like it was just you could just tell that they are such a well-coached team. Because I've seen that exact moment happen so many times, and it feels like the refs are a little confused by what the player is saying. It feels like the player doesn't even know what he's technically calling. Like, I've seen that happen a couple of times this year, specifically in that overtime start, where they're like, do we want to defer? Do we want to kick? What do we want to happen?
Yeah.
JSN had a clear answer to the ref, and I want to say that has a tremendous impact for me on this coaching staff that Seattle has. Mike McDaniel, number one team in the NFC now, might have to be your coach of the year so far because, man. McDonald, you're right. The announcers actually got that wrong like 4 times, and it's in my head now. Now the Rams come all the way down the field. Great drive. I will say this right here on 2nd and 10, that deep right to what is Smith, his name was, and then there was the penalty. I don't know about the penalty there. I thought that was, I understood why they had to call it a penalty, but I was like, man. And then Ernest Jones had such an easy interception in his hands. I really thought he was going to have that. It was a pass over the middle to Blake Corum. It fell into Ernest Jones' hands. They even celebrated the entire time, like in the end zone, thinking they got the pick, just for it to show up that he did not retain possession whatsoever to the ground. It was reversed. Stafford immediately goes to Puka on 3rd and 6. They run it and bang. Puka gets open over the middle of the field, a 41-yard touchdown, which capitalized, by the way, Puka's night after all the controversy that happened this week. 12 for 225 and 2 touchdowns. I don't care what you want to say about him off the field, all the stuff that happened. Right now, at this current moment, there is maybe no better receiver in all of football than this guy, Puka Nacua. He can catch everything. He's good after the run. He's a great blocker. He seems like a teammate that people want to root for. He is awesome. He is, I can't say enough about how good Puka's been this year.
He's yelling about the refs on Twitter after the game.
Yes, he was. And there's a whole reason behind that. And the Seattle Seahawks down by 7. Sam Darnold's legacy on the line after throwing 2 interceptions against this Rams team, looking like it was going to be all the memes in the world.
Primetime game.
All the memes in the world would have gone against Sam Darnold. And he comes out and leads an incredible drive. Passed the DPI first and foremost for JSN, continued the drive on that 2nd and 10. I thought that was a huge play call, got them into rhythm. Sam Darnold threw that great pass to Cooper Kupp, 21-yarder there. Hit A.J. Barner on 3rd and 3. I thought this was a huge play right here at the 9-yard line, 3rd and 3. This could have caused a 4th and short. They ran the ball up the middle, something that we were saying all day long. Why are you doing this? Why are they keep running the ball up the middle with Sharp? It worked so well. 5-yard run right up the middle of the gut. It looked like that it was going to be a pass play. JSN was in motion. A.J. Barner was there. I thought it was going to be a pass play, as I thought the Rams did too. Sharp runs it right up the middle, gets 5 yards, and immediately Sam Darnold finds JSN in the short middle of the field for a 4-yard touchdown. And they learned from their mistakes earlier in the game. They were not going to let luck determine their 2-point conversion, throwing the ball backwards ever anymore. They run an incredible Incredible play that gets that guy Eric Sauberts wide open in the middle of the field. You can see Sam Darnold get the exact protection he needs with that D-line being tired. He goes through all of his progressions, 1, 2, 3. No one's open. He goes to his fourth progression, which is Eric Sauber over the middle of the field. 2-point conversion, successful. And the Seattle Seahawks win 38-37 in an overtime shootout thriller
to
take
playoff implications.
Control of not just the NFC West, but the entire NFC now. If I go to the standings of the league right now, NFC, look at that. The Seattle Seahawks are the #1 team with a bye, and which means the NFL or the NFC would have to go through Seattle to get to the Super Bowl. Now, I will say that is huge because the Rams now are 1 game behind with the tie.
And if the Niners win, they're going to be 1 game behind.
If the Niners
with
win,
a better division record,
which is big, by the way, because they have to play Seattle in the last week of the season.
The Niners can still get the 1 seed here.
Yes, they can. Seattle has a big game coming up against Carolina, and then at San Francisco, back-to-back. Technically,
that might be
2 playoff games.
That last game right there, that might be
for the division, for the NFC.
For the NFC.
San Fran needs to beat the Colts this week, and then the Rams. If I go to the Rams schedule as well, Rams get to see the Falcons and the Cardinals to end the year. So Seattle can't lose.
Who else does San Francisco have for the rest of the season?
The Colts and the Seahawks.
But who do they have? There's one more. There's 3 games left, right? Chicago.
Oh, wow. Yeah, you're right.
Oh man. So they got Colts, Chicago,
Seattle.
Man, wow.
That NFC West is incredible.
Any of those teams could get the ones. Any of those teams. And also, well, look at it. Can we go back to the standings? I wonder if all 3 of them are going to get in.
It does look like it right now that all 3 would be almost guaranteed, because right now they are the 5, 6, and 1 seed. The closest would have to be like Detroit would have to win out. Green Bay would probably keep their spot. Carolina seems like they're just fighting with Tampa Bay at this point for the division.
I don't know. Green Bay, if they put 3 in, and then, well, yeah, I guess if the North puts 2 teams in, because there's only going to be either Tampa Bay or Carolina, one of them's missing it, because they're not going to have enough wins. Man, that's going to be a great end of the season for the NFC. Wow.
What a game last night, Thursday night game with the biggest implications of the season so far.
And that might even just be a precursor to what happens. They got to play San Francisco that last game. Is that game in San Francisco, that last game?
It is in San Fran.
So that might be the same exact situation we had last year with the Vikings and Lions the last week of the season. That very well could be that.
And boom, Seattle going into the remainders of Week 16 takes control of the NFC.